Hi, and welcome to today's practice. Today is day 19 of the Intentions Yoga Challenge. We're going to be moving through a restorative yoga flow. So if you have at least a block or maybe a pillow nearby, that would be really, really helpful. But of course, if you don't have anything that you can use, it's okay. You can still do the flow, don't worry. So we're going to start today on our backs using your pillow or your block, which we're just going to place vertically. And we're going to bring the upper back down on the block. So you just want it right behind the rib cage. So the head could still be on the floor and just making sure that it's lifting your heart space. Kind of somewhere just underneath the shoulder blades. And from here you can bring your arms out to the sides. Now if you have two blocks, you can also place them one above the other, or a bolster underneath the upper back is also fine. So just whatever you have nearby, whatever works. And then here we're going to bring the soles of the feet together and just allow the knees to flop out to the sides. And take a moment to readjust, to make sure that you're actually comfortable here. Remember, you want the hips to be on the floor, you want the upper back to be lifted, and the back of the head is either lifted on the block or it is on the mat. Once you're comfortable, you can close your eyes. And let's start to deepen the breath. At each inhale, expanding the chest. And each exhale to release. And you can close your eyes here. We're going to stay here for at least 10 cycles of breath, trying to build more and more space in the heart space around the rib cage. So every time you breathe in, really feeling the rib cage expand, lifting the heart space up as much as you can. And feeling the pressure increase between your back and the block. And then when you breathe out, feeling everything relax and become heavier. And let's go ahead and take 5 more breaths here. And making these last few breaths your deepest breaths possible, feeling the effect of the shape more and more. And last breath here. And then from here, you can go ahead and bring the knees together. Let's roll over to one side. With your other hand, you can remove the block or the pillow out from underneath your back. And let's come into constructive rest. Feet are wide apart, knees knock in together. And you can either stay still here or knock the knees side to side. And just noticing the after effects in your back, feeling the back flat on the mat, noticing the length of your spine. And now from here, we're going to bring the block underneath the lower back, so just behind the sacrum. So kind of exactly where your tailbone is. Now, if you have the block, you have many options. With the pillows, you're just going to have to put them underneath your lower back and you won't really have an option to go deeper, but that's fine. With the block, you can keep it on the lower level. This might already feel great here, or you can maybe lift it up a little bit higher, coming on the middle level. And then there's also the option of bringing it to the highest level, but let's wait here for a little bit first. About 5 breaths, just making sure that you can rest your full body weight into the block. And breathing deeply, now really sending the breath into your lower belly so that each inhale you feel the front of the hips and the lower belly stretch out. And notice if you feel any sensation in the lower back. And now you decide either you stay here, which is already great, or you can press into the feet, lift the hips a little bit higher, and maybe come onto the highest level of the block. Just being very careful here. You might want to also turn the block so that it's vertical along the spine. Taking your time to position it, to make sure you're comfortable. And then once again, making sure that you can rest your full body weight on the block. And let's take 5 breaths here. Now, wherever you are, there's an option to go deeper, which you can extend your legs out in front of you one at a time. And then again, making sure that you rest all your body weight in the block. And then if you want to take it even a little bit deeper, you can bring your arms above your head. Deep breaths. If you're in this position, you should really feel a stretch here in the fronts of your hips. And with your breath, try to expand the whole front body even more. So sending the breath into the lower belly, drawing it up into the chest, and then exhaling to relax. Let's take 5 last breaths wherever you are. Make them your deepest and longest breaths yet. If the arms are above your head, let's bring the hands by the hips first. And then one leg at a time, bend your knees. And then slowly you can press into the heels, squeeze the glutes to lift the lower back off the block. With your hands, remove the block, and then one vertebra at a time. Let's lower the spine back down on the mat. Coming into constructive rest. Feet are wide apart, knees are together. Staying here for a moment, noticing the after effects in your body. You can even extend your legs long on the mat if you want to lie down completely for a moment. Noticing how grounded you feel after having gone into that back bend. And now let's go ahead and slowly bring both knees into the chest. Keeping your back nice and flat on the mat. Let's hold opposite hand to opposite wrist around the knees. And then we're going to hold the right knee in, extend your left leg long. Now the left arm reaches up to, not the sky, but just behind your head, so reaches to the back of the mat. We're going to roll onto your left side, coming onto the belly, bringing your right hand underneath your right shoulder, and then as you breathe in, let's bring the left hand underneath the left shoulder and lift the chest. Exhale, let's come all the way down. Now left arm reaches once again to the back of your mat. Roll back onto your back and bring both knees into the chest. Let's extend the right leg long. Left knee stays in. Right arm reaches alongside your right ear. Let's roll onto the belly. Bring both hands underneath your shoulders. Inhale, press into the hands. Only lift as much as feels good for you. The left leg is still bent. And then exhale, let's come back down. Extend your right arm ahead. Roll back onto your back. Bring both knees into the chest. Now from here, let's extend both legs up towards the sky, and you can start to point and flex the toes. Maybe rolling out the ankles in one direction and in the other. Now we're going to hold the outer blades of the feet for happy baby, bending the knees, separating them wide, and then pulling the knees down into the armpits. And here you want to really pull the tailbone down and the shoulder blades down to the mat. And we're going to stay here for about 7 more breaths. If it feels good for the last few breaths, you can straighten out maybe one leg at a time, or you can straighten out both legs, maybe holding peace fingers around the big toes. Just do what feels good for you here. Let's take 3 more breaths, making sure you don't stretch too much too quickly, so really taking your time. And then let's bring both knees back into the chest. And we're going to make our way up to tabletop. So you can just rock your way up and then come into tabletop. And once we're here, we're going to extend the arms forward. Maybe bring your pillow or your block, place it in front of you. You could place both hands on the pillow. If you have 2 blocks or 2 pillows, that would be a little bit better so that you can separate your hands a little bit further. But 1 is also fine. And then let's bring either the forehead or the chin down on the mat for a quite deep puppy pose. Let's hold here another 5 breaths. And then from here, let's bring one hand at a time underneath the shoulders. Press into the hands, lift your chest, tabletop. Let's extend the right leg back and start to roll out your right ankle in one direction and the other. As you breathe out, let's cross the right leg behind the left. Now press into your right hand, look over your left shoulder. 2 more breaths here. Now let's look forward, bend your right knee, cross it behind the left. Let's walk the hands all the way back to your knees. You can sit on your block here or on the mat, just making sure that both of your sit bones are touching the floor. The left knee is crossed over the right for shoelace, and we're on the outer blades of both feet. If you need to readjust, you can lift the hips, slide your left knee a little bit closer to the right knee, and then sit back down. As you breathe in, let's reach the arms up. For eagle arms, let's cross the right elbow over the left. Inhale here. And then exhale, let's connect the elbows to the knees, and then maybe bring your forehead down into your elbow creases. And let's hold 5 breaths here. So every inhale, try to breathe deeply into your upper back, separating the shoulder blades. Two more breaths here. And next inhale, let's rise up. Reach the arms up. And then inhale, let's release the bind. Reach the arms above the head. Exhale, side bend to the right. The right hand comes down on the mat. Take one deep breath in and out here. Inhale, come back up through center. And then side bend to the left. Inhale, let's come back up through center. Now let's place both fingertips down on the mat. Lift the hips, pivot so that you're facing the back of your mat, Prasarita. Let's grab opposite hand to opposite elbow and dangle side to side. Now releasing both hands down on the mat. Take a deep breath in, halfway lift. Let's heel toe the feet together. And then let's step the right foot back, drop the right knee. Inhale, Anjanasana, reach the arms above the head. 2 more breaths. Now as you exhale, let's pull the hips back, straighten the left leg, half splits. Inhale to reach the chest over the left leg, and exhale to fold deeper. And on your next inhale, we're going to lift the chest slightly, bend your left knee. Let's turn the right toes to the left, so your right foot is behind your right knee, and you can bring your hands to your hips, and then let's bend that left leg a lot. So if you need maybe a towel underneath your right knee, if that's a little bit painful, of course you can. So really deep bend in the left knee as much as you can. You should feel that in the left hip a lot. You might feel a little bit of a stretch in the inner right thigh as well. And now let's bring both hands down on the mat. Lift your right knee, step the right foot to the right side of the mat. Let's pivot into a lunge, facing the top of the mat, and step forward, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, high plank. And then let's drop both knees down on the mat, tabletop. For cat and cow, inhale, drop the belly, pull the chest through. Exhale, round your spine. 5 breaths. Inhale to open. Exhale to round. Last 3. And last one here, breathing in and exhale to round. Inhaling, let's come back to a neutral spine. Extend your left leg behind you. Let's roll out the left ankle. And then let's cross the left foot behind the right. Press into your left hand, look over your right shoulder. Add one more breath here. On your next inhale, look forward. Let's bend the left knee. Walk your hands all the way back to your knees. Let's sit between the heels, shoelace. Making sure that your right knee is as close as possible to your left knee. We're on the outer blades of both feet, and both sit bones are touching the floor. Inhale, let's reach the arms above the head. And then let's cross the left elbow over the right elbow for eagle arms. Breathing in to lift the elbows away from your chest. And then either staying up here or exhale, bringing the elbows against your knees, maybe resting the forehead in your elbow creases. And let's hold. And breathing in deeply, creating space in the upper back. Let's take one more breath here. And on your next inhale, let's rise up. Release the bind of the arms, reach the arms up. Now side bend to the left. Exhale, left hand comes down on the mat. Inhale, come back up through center. And then side bend to the right. Right hand comes down on the floor, left arm reaches up and over. And let's come back up through center. Plant your hands, press into the fingertips, lift the knees. Pivot to the left, 180 degrees, Prasarita. This time let's just fold forward. So deep breath in, halfway lift. Exhale to fold, maybe wrapping the hands around the ankles or peace fingers around the big toes. For 5. And engaging lower belly, trying to compress the thighs to your stomach. Lifting the sit bones up high. And on your next inhale, let's take a halfway lift. Heel toe your feet together. And then let's step the left foot back. Drop the left knee. Inhale, reach the arms up. Anjanasana for 3. And on your next exhale, come into a half split. Fingertips can come down to the mat. Pull the hips back, reach the chest forward, and hold. All right, now we're going to re-bend the right knee. Let's pivot the left knee. So bring your left foot behind your left knee to the right, if that makes sense. Let's lift the chest. Both hands come on your hips. Almost think of doing a warrior 2, except you're on your left knee. So really bending that right knee a lot. Hips and shoulders are open to the left side of your mat. Let's take one more breath here. And then you can bring both hands on the mat, so on the long side of your mat. Tuck your left toes, lift your left knee, come into Prasarita. And then let's walk both hands to the left, bend your left knee, square your left foot with your hands. And then let's step forward, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, high mountain, rise up. Exhale, hands to the heart space. Now let's come high on the toes, breathe in. Exhale, release the heels. See if you can lift your toes. And then let's switch. Drop the toes, lift the heels. You can do whatever you need to do with your arms and switch. Okay, so heels lift, and then drop the heels, try to lift your toes. Drop the toes, lift the heels. Drop the heels, lift the toes. Let's do a few more. Keeping a point of focus in front of you. And then coming back onto the toes, let's bend the knees, bring the hips all the way down to the heels. From here, we're going to lean back, tap the knees on the floor, and then lean forward, bring your heels down. Just 2 more times. Trying to go as slowly as possible, bring the knees down, and then lean forward, bring the heels down. 1 more time. And bring the heels. Let's sit down on the mat slowly. Okay. From here, you can drop your knees out to the side, soles of the feet are together. Let's reach forward as much as you can, hollowing the lower belly. Let's hold for 5. Each inhale, you're reaching a little bit further. 4, 3, reach 2, and 1. Let's bring the hands down to the feet, elbows squeeze in towards the the hip creases, and let's fold a little bit deeper, trying to keep the chest open, so expanding the space between the collarbones. If you want, you can bring your chin down into your chest. 5 more breaths. From here, we're going to slowly roll out. Try to stay in your butterfly pose, keeping the feet glued to the mat, keeping the knees apart. Let's make our way all the way down to the mat. All right, coming back to where we started, except this time the back is flat on the floor. Let's bring both knees into the chest. And we're going to end off with a twist. Option for cat pulling its tail. We're going to twist to the right. The left hand holds the top of the right foot underneath your left leg. And then the right hand can hold either the outer blade of the left foot or the left knee. We're going to drop the right knee down to the mat, and then we're going to bring that left leg over to the right. So the right heel is very close to your sit bones. Left hand is very close to your left hip. You can go in the twist with the left knee bend and then straighten out the left leg. That's probably the easiest way to do it, or you can immediately go in with a straight leg, or just keep the left knee bent. And of course, if this does not feel comfortable at all, and you prefer to take another twist today, you can of course change the variation and take any variation that suits you the best. But remembering that every time I do give the option to do whatever you prefer, try to challenge yourself sometimes. Not every time. You need to know your body and listen to your body, but sometimes it is nice to try new things and go out of your comfort zone. So try to keep that in mind. And let's slowly release the bind of both hands if you have them. Come back through center, and then option for cat pulling its tail again on the other side. So right hand holds the top of the left foot. Let's drop the left knee. Left hand holds the right knee or the outer blade of the right foot. And then let's bring the right leg over to the left, either keeping the knee bent or extending the right leg. And here, try to keep your shoulder blades grounded on the mat. You can look up or over your right shoulder. Slowly, let's make our way back through center, bringing both knees into the chest, squeezing the knees into your chest without lifting the forehead, just really trying to increase the hip compression. So you should really feel that in the front of your hips, squeezing the knees together and down, keeping the shoulder blades grounded, keeping the tailbone grounded. And then when you're ready, you can release it all and come into Shavasana. Extending the legs out, extending the arms out to the sides. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose. And then exhale through the mouth, let it go. And again, deep breath in. And exhale, let it go. And allow yourself to relax for a few moments. Trying to find if you can feel any after effects of the practice. Maybe the legs feel longer. Maybe you feel heavier. Maybe you feel like you're taking up more space on your mat. And noticing if you can feel all the different parts of your body. And if you can feel where your body ends and the rest begins. Or if it feels like those boundaries are a little bit blurred. And without touching your body, without seeing it, asking yourself, how exactly do you know that this is your body? What do you feel? You can start to wiggle your way out of Shavasana, starting to deepen the breath, Reinviting energy into the body. And slowly making your way out and into a comfortable seat. But of course, you are more than welcome to stay in Shavasana longer if you have the time today. And if you are in a comfortable seat already, then you can start to notice if you feel any differences between how you're feeling right now and how you felt before the practice. Maybe your mind feels a little bit clearer. Maybe you feel a little more present. Just investigating within yourself, collecting information about your body, about your mind. And noticing that every single time you sit here, it's going to be different. When you're ready, you can reach your arms above the head. And then exhale, let's bring the hands to the heart space. I invite you to think of one thing that you are grateful for today. It can be something or someone, big or small. And when you're ready, you can rub your hands together. And then let's cover the eyes with the hands. And then slowly removing the hands away from the face, blinking the eyes open, and namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for this recovery yoga flow. I hope that you enjoyed it. I know that my arms are still feeling yesterday's practice, so I definitely needed this. Also, I wanted to remind you that there are still a few days left to sign up to win a travel yoga mat. So if you are interested in that, then you can sign up using this link or the one in the description. The challenge is going on until Tuesday of next week, until the end of January, basically. So there are just a few days left to sign up. So make sure that you do if you want the chance to win. All right. With that, I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow for day 20. All right. Bye.